Alright, so new series for landscape tutorials. Why am I doing that? Because I've had so much trouble doing a good landscape material that does not contain crap. So this is the vehicle template. As you can see, very simple. And yeah, basically what I've wanted to do is have a very simple material that I can also paint on. So this dirt is actually hand painted on top, and the other layer, the grass and the stone, as well as uh, the snow and maybe sand if you've got some, are height blended and angle blended. So yeah, that's pretty much the whole concept. So I can just go right there and paint with the grass stone layer, and it will go back to generated. And I can also paint with dirt, for example, on top of here, and make it dirty, and then repaint it and keep the generation stuff. For example, it needs to be an angle, so there's a rock. I'm using a weird method, a custom one, on this material, which is landscape material, but it's kind of custom. There are other ways to do it. I'll have it in the proper way to do it. I will include in the big tutorial, which is going to include all this stuff together. So as you can see, this is very simple because this here does not blend. It blends in some angles, but in other ones it does not. And for example, right there, just like a pile of snow, it can be useful if the snow is like too far up, and you can adjust the height. So let's get into it. We've got a couple of layers. The first one is the generated layer, which is being treated as a base on our dirt painted layer. So you obviously, when you create the landscape, you've got to paint all over it with our grass stone layer, so it's generated and stuff, and then you can paint on it with the dirt painted. Now what else? The visibility mask set to opacity mask, so the material is masked and used for landscape as a surface. Metallic and specular to 0, roughness to 1 because it's a landscape. So I've got four textures: a snowy, a grass, a stone, and dirt. As you can see, the dirt one is just plugged in as is with the UVs on the dirt painted layer, and then this is plugged into base color because you don't need something, you just paint over it. The other ones are blended. I've got a lerp node here and a lerp node there, which essentially we want the angle to override the height. So no matter how high it is, you're going to have stone if it's like a cliff, and not grass nor snow. So let's see our simple height blend right there. So we lerp this, and we actually lerp on values 0 or 1, which are the minimum and maximum the alpha can get, because we don't want transition, and our material is rather simple. So the 0.5 in our if node is just for showing purposes. You can have it either to be 1 or 0, but I want to show that there is a transition right there. So we get the absolute world position including material offsets, and we mask the blue channel. Now the blue channel would be the z of our vector in this case. So then we plug in a value which is the desired height that the snow is going to appear. So in my case it is 1000 unreal units, which is about this height right there. Or as you can see, the snow, it's about on the same level. And yeah, so if it's if the provided height is greater than, we want to use the snow. If it's not, we would want to use the grass. And yeah, so that's basic stuff with the if and the lerp. You should already know that. And the next part is plug this whole layer, which is either grass or snow, and you can add sand if you want and stuff, but it will get more complicated, so I'll cover it in another tutorial. And this whole simple thing, we plug it into another lerp, which is whether we're going to use stone or not, because it's an angle. So, and then we treat this whole layer as the grassstone layer, which is supposed to be generated automatically. So this is the logic to do the slow blend. This is again using vectors. You can find this in the documentation as well. We just get the normals and check if it's angled enough with this logic. Take a good look at it. It's a pretty non-angular algorithm. You can paste it if you want it. So this one here is the alpha value, and yeah, if it's got an angle, it's stone, and then we plug it back in. So this would be black if you apply the material. You have to get the brush and paint all over it first, so make it like brush size of 8K and do something like this. So it's like all done, and you will want to paint the track after that. Be sure to use a large fall off so it's like blended in smoothly, and yeah, just paint the track. So because this layer, these layers, our generated layer and our dirt painted layer is weight blended, we want to use a dual strength of 0.1 where we're painting the road, so it's not too offensive. For example, there you can see a small transition between the grass, whereas as we use one and no brush fall off, it will just be dirt. You can tell the difference right there. So yeah, thanks for watching and see you next time.